In this module we're going to talk about preheating data, and having had the discussion in a previous module about resident memory, working set size and everything else, we're going to talk about how you might ready a node if you're going to put it into production, so that you don't rely on your application or your users to heat up that data, because they are the ones doing that. If you are relying on your application to essentially heat up and page in all of that working set, then they're going to have a pretty poor experience. They're going to have a lot of paging to disk. That's going to be quite slow. So if you want to avoid that and you want to get a node production ready, how do you go about preheating the data? And we'll talk about two basic options that we've got here. The first one is a command that was added in 2.4, the touch command. And then the second thing that we'll talk about is doing targeted queries. And if you like, this is going to be your blunt instrument type approach, where you load in an entire collection and an entire set of indexes. And your targeted queries are what you're going to have to use if, for example, that collection, that index doesn't fit in RAM. In the case of the touch command is somewhat of an all or nothing. With the targeted queries, you can be a little bit smarter about what we actually page in and try to target that actual working set that we need, so that our users or applications are not impacted by the fact that we've rebooted a node, restarted the OS, or something similar that would cause all of the caches to be cold. So the first thing that I've done here, and this is following up on commands and techniques used in previous modules, I've taken our primary, I stopped the MongoDB process on it, and then I dropped all of the caches. I've then restarted that process and made it primary once again. So now when we run server status working set 1, we should see a very different resident and working set profile than we did previously. And indeed we have. You can see that the working set now just has 11 pages in memory. I ran this right after I restarted the process, having dropped the caches. So you can see it's only over 48 seconds or so. Just 34 megs of resident memory that has been paged in at the start. So pretty low usage. If you remember in our previous module, this was in the 77,000 pages range. 308 megabytes if my memory serves, and resident here was over a gig. So you can see that the resident memory here has greatly reduced.